Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports back in the video today, and today I'm going to be recapping today's Houston sports games. As today was a big day in Houston sports. As you know, one side of the football end, great win for the Houston Texans as they win 20-13 going into the bye week. I'm going to go into a quick stat real quick. Texans get the win over the Saints 20-13. It's their third win of the season. They're 3-3 entering the bye week, which is the Week 7 bye. It is not even halfway through the NFL season yet. You still got 2 more weeks until you're halfway through the season, and the Texans have already reached the win total that they had last season. It shows how much have changed with the Houston Texans, and I know. Just like the Houston Rockets, they have not begun their regular season, but just like the Houston Texans, the Houston Rockets look like they are. I wouldn't say they're going to be as good as the Texans are playing right now. I know it's different leagues, but the Houston Rockets look like they're back as well. So Rockets are playing great basketball. They've won their first 2 preseason games. Houston Texans just won their third game of the season, snapping a 1-game losing streak, beating the Saints by 7. Stroud looks pretty good with 2 passing touchdowns, 200 passing yards. Does throw that first interception, though. And the Texans win 20-13. And the team I've been trying to avoid for probably over a minute now, the Houston Astros. It's not like this series is over. It's game 1, but the Astros did lose 2-0 in game 1. I'm going to recap both games. That's what I've been doing. When I found myself in situations where, when either the Texans and the Astros, or potentially maybe the Astros and the Rockets are both have big games. Like I've done it. I think this is my third time doing it now. I did it. I did it a couple weeks ago. I did it when the Texans beat the Steelers and the Astros beat the Diamondbacks to win the AL West. It was like, I called it like Houston Sports Recap. Astros win the AL West over the Diamondbacks, and the Texans dominate the Steelers and win their second straight game. And then I did it a second straight time. It was last Tuesday when the Houston Rockets played their first preseason game and beat the Pacers 122-103, and the Astros beat the Minnesota Twins in the ALDS in Game 3. So now it's the third time doing it. The Houston Astros played the Texas Rangers in Game 1 of the ALCS, while the Houston Texans played the New Orleans Saints in Game in Week 6 of the NFL, and I'm going to be recapping both of these games, and doing this, what kind of inspired me of doing these videos and talking about all Houston sports, kind of the show on KRPC Sports Sunday is kind of what inspired me to do this on my channel. Before I get into talking about both games, we'll give a little Rockets recap. Rockets are 2-0 in the preseason so far. They play their third preseason game against Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs tomorrow, Monday at 7 o'clock. Houston Rockets starting shooting guard Jalen Green is out, though, with a toe injury. That is it on the Rockets. All right, so I usually would start off with the Astros because, they're in the playoffs. But since the Texans were the winning team today, I think the Texans deserve to be started off with. The Texans won 20-13 over the New Orleans Saints at home today. Great win for the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud throws 13 for 27 with 200 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception thrown. Funny thing about C.J. Stroud finally throwing that interception is it was intercepted by, I think, some linebackers. It was number 53, but. When the linebacker intercepted the football, he recovered. He started to get a decent return, and then he fumbled it. The Texans recovered it back at their own 40-something yard line. I think it was our 41 or our 42, and the Texans got a prayer answered. A prayer got answered. The Texans got the football back and were able to score a touchdown on that drive. C.J. Stroud ended up throwing a 1-yard touchdown pass to Dalton Schultz. But yeah, Stroud went 13 for 27, 199 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. Stroud was only sacked twice today. Devin Singletary looked really good with 60 rushing yards, while he almost had twice as more rushing yards as Dameon Pierce had. And not only that, but Dameon Pierce also had 1 more carry. Nico Collins looked really good with 4 receptions for 80 receiving yards, was targeted 6 times. The Texans were without rookie wide receiver Tank Dell, and also Robert Woods was dealing with a rib injury, which he was able to play and get his first touchdown as a Houston Texan with a 6-yard touchdown reception, which was his only reception. He was targeted 3 times. So I think you can kind of tell that that injury in his ribs was still bothering him just a little bit, but he was able to he was able to toughen it up and go out there for the Texans, which I really like. Dalton Schultz, the tight end, another really great game for Dalton Schultz in this offense. 4 receptions for 61 receiving yards and 1 touchdown, 7 targets for Dalton Schultz. And then how about Noah Brown, who returns from the IR, makes a huge 34-yard reception on the drive for the Texans, where the drive where Stroud threw the interception, then they got the ball back. Stroud throws a 34-yard pass to Noah Brown. Noah Brown has a two reception, 37-yard day, and this was Noah Brown's first game back from the injured list, the injured reserve. Defense, getting to some defensive stats. Blake Cashman looked pretty good. He had 15 tackles for 2 passes defended and 2 tackles for a loss, and he had 1 QB hit as well. While Jimmy Ward also had 7 tackles. Steven Nelson, a guy who had 6 tackles and 1 pass defended and had an interception for his 3rd interception of the season and nearly had a pick 6 in this ball game. The Texans as a team had 2 sacks, a half a sack from Malik Collins and Jonathan Grenard, and 1 sack for Sheldon Rankins, his first sack as a Houston Texan. This Texans team had 5 tackles for loss, with Kurt Heinisch having 1. Sheldon Rankins having 2, and Blake Cashman having 2. Great day for this defense as they have an interception, 2 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, and was very good at stopping this Saints defense on 3rd down. Great win for the Houston Texans. Let's get into the Houston Astros. The Houston Astros in Game 1 of the ALCS lose to the Texas Rangers 2-0. Jordan Montgomery of the Rangers pitched a great game, and he pitched nearly 7 innings. He pitched 6 innings. He pitched six innings and 1 out of the 7th inning, giving up 5 hits, 0 runs, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. While Justin Verlander was on the mound for the Astros, and he pitched 6 innings and 2/3 of the 7th inning, giving up 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. The scoring summary: only 2 runs scored, and it was for the Rangers. The Rangers' offense was not that good in this game. The key to this ball game was pitching and defense. The Rangers' only 2 runs scored were off a Jonah Heim RBI single to center. Carter scored. It's 1-0. Then Tavares with the home run to right center, 2-0. 6 hits for the Rangers, 5 hits for the Astros, 0 errors in the ball game. Loss goes to Verlander, win goes to Montgomery. Jose Altuve makes a terrible mistake off of a well-hit flyout by Alex Bregman, which ultimately ends up getting into a double play. No Astro had 2 hits. Yordan Alvarez, who was amazing in the Twin Series, sucked. I love Yordan, but he was terrible today. Struck out swinging 3 times. I wouldn't say Yordan was terrible. Might be a little bit tired after having such a great series against the Twins, but also Jordan Montgomery did have his number today. Alex Bregman, not that bad of a day. He was hitting the ball Alex Bregman was actually hitting the ball pretty hard today. Had a 3rd inning single to left, ball knotted to second. Had a very hard hit 1st inning line out, and then the big fly out, which almost was a home run or a double off the wall in the 8th inning for Alex Bregman. So Breggy was making some good contact on the ball, was probably the best hitter in the lineup for the Astros. I don't even know how you can say that when they scored 0 runs. Jose Abreu carried for a minute, carried off his success from last series. 2nd inning had a single to left, but then struck out swinging twice and lined out to center in the 9th. And then Kyle Tucker continues with his postseason struggles. He was 0 for 4 today and is batting 111 in the postseason. Really hope one of our best hitters can heat it up in this series, because we need him to. He had great success against Texas earlier in the season. We really need Kyle Tucker to do better. Chas McCormick was 1 for 4 with a single to center in the 4th inning. And then Mauricio Dubon, it was 3 straight singles. McCormick, 4th inning single. Dubon, 4th inning single to left. Both single, McCormick single to center, Dubon's to the left, and then Jeremy Pena had a single to left. They weren't able to score on any of the singles. The bases are loaded with 2 outs. Oh, guess who's up? It's our favorite guy. It's our favorite friend, Martin Maldonado. And you could already guess what happens. Maldonado strikes out swinging. I know it's the fourth inning, and I know you're already expecting Justin Verlander to pitch 2 or 3 more innings. But why? Why not put in either Ganner Diaz or Michael Brantley for a pinch hitting appearance? I mean, with 2 outs, it's not guaranteed you're going to get a run with taking out Maldonado and putting one of those guys in, but you have a lot better chance of knocking in a run with Michael Brantley or Yanner Diaz at the plate with the bases loaded than Martin Maldonado. I think the only way to get that done is with a Maldi walk, which he did have. Maldonado did have a walk in this ball game in the 3rd inning, but this was a tough loss for Game 1. Great win for the Texans. Terrible loss for the Astros, but the Astros will be back at it on Game 2 tomorrow at 3:37. As for the Houston Rockets, going to go over that one more time. The Rockets are playing some great basketball. Their rookies are looking good. They're looking great as a team. Defensively, the Rockets are looking great as well. So all Houston sports are looking pretty good right now. The Astros are in the ALCS for the 7th straight time. They just need to get out of it. They need to get into the World Series. But hopefully the Astros are able to bounce back in Game 2 as they need a must-win tomorrow. But the Texans are looking good. The Astros still alive, and the Rockets are back on tomorrow playing Victor Wembanyama for the first time. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy my thoughts, and peace out.